that is.
Yeah, well, I'm recording you now. You look like you're having a good time. Are you on that boardwalk in Puerto Vallarta?
Yeah, the marina.
Yeah, Marina. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
while since we've been there.
yeah, it's great. I think we have 30 minutes, right? For discussion.
Yeah, we could do it
Awesome.
longer or shorter.
No. 30 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes is great.
Yeah,
And so,
good.
how have you been?
I've been okay. And you?
Pretty good. Busy,
Yeah,
busy. I'm telling you,
yeah.
at work, it's just like really hectic. So when we got to Puerto Vallarta, we were in Guadalajara actually, and I was like, you know what? It's vacation. I'll be able to do it without any disruptions from work. So
Well, that's great. That's great. Okay, so I really appreciate you doing this. This is the first time we're doing a live broadcast from Puerto Vallarta.
yeah, I know this is so unusual, right? I mean,
Yeah,
we've been in we invited me and we worked together in several conferences in Canada, in California, in Seattle. So it's just for a change. It's always
yeah,
good to be on your show, Ed.
yeah. Well, that's great. Okay, so I'm going to hold up your book here, and it's right here, Partnering with American Firms and Business Leaders. And you're the co-author with Stephen Howard of this great little book. And I'm holding it in my hand right here, How to Work Effectively with U.S. Companies and Business People. Of course, U.S. business people are a varied bunch.
Yes, it's
So,
very yeah.
yeah, very busy, very unique.
Yeah. It's a pleasure to be with you, Ed. Again, I really I had so much fun co-writing this book with Stephen. And as you recall, we in one of your conferences, one of your shows, I met Stephen, started talking, and we were exchanging all the leadership concepts and best practices with the rest of the leaders. And as while I was working at Boeing, in parallel to supporting airline customers, I was giving classes on doing business across cultures. So pretty much helping the employees to work with various cultures. And the more I looked at it, I realized like there is not. I did search several in so many different areas about books or things that websites that, or specifically books on how to do business with Americans. There were some, but they're not like quite as comprehensive and add some stories about experiences working in the U.S. And so I thought about doing that and start talking with Stephen, who has a publishing company, Caliente, and he said, "All right, great, that would be awesome. Let's do it together." And I told him I want him to help write the book with me. He said, "Sir, are you sure? You're the one who's going to be talking about it." And but I told him, "No, you have a lot of experience." And sure enough, I mean, he has a lot of experience as an expat, working in Singapore and various Asian countries, and so it was a great match to share our stories and how we learned what is the best way to work with Americans. I specifically wanted to have somebody, a leader like Stephen, to be on the book with me because um, so when folks, international leaders, when they read a book of how to do business in the U.S., I think it adds more credibility. You have somebody like me who's born in Lebanon and pretty much spent most of my life in the U.S. working in corporate, and also Stephen. So I think it adds a lot of credibility to what the message that we're giving and the stories that we share in the book. So
Yeah.
thank you
So
for
the
the
fact
intro.
that he, yeah, sure, pleasure. That's my job. And so, let me ask you a question. Did you record with Stephen sessions um, that were regimented or just unrehearsed, basically. You had a theme in mind, I'm sure, but you just had the recording going and you used the transcript as a basis for chapters.
Yeah, what we did was at the beginning, it was just talking things in general. We had Zoom meetings talking about the outline, and with his experience, he's written what over 25 books now, maybe 30 now. Um, so he was such a great guide for me, and I highly recommend. And your show, I recommend if anyone is thinking about writing a book, it's Stephen is a pleasure to work with Stephen, and he makes things so much easier. And with his experience and so it made it a whole lot easier. So we had several Zoom meetings, and we talked about outlines. And then when we started writing the material, we said, "Hey, let's just get together." So he flew from Mexico City to San Diego, um, and I flew from Seattle, and we stayed at a hotel for one weekend. We sat down and we started cracking things out, and we ended up the chapters. We wrote the chapters, and after that, it was pretty much just fine tuning, deleting some, adding more stories or adding things. So that's how it worked. It was a combination of Zoom meetings and then in person, where we had for day and a half. We sat down and we wrote the rest of the chapters.
Yeah. So I'm looking at page 103.
Uh-huh.
Do you happen to remember that page? No,
Two or three.
no,
No.
103. Idioms and acronyms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So American, a day late and a dollar short. Uh,
Yeah.
a penny for your thoughts. Yeah, something about Aunt Sally. Who the hell is Aunt Sally?
This is great. I'm glad you mentioned that because that's actually Steven's idea, and I'm like at the beginning I was like maybe we should put it, and I am so glad we included that. And Steven, it was Steven's idea, and it just shares, it sends a message about the language, the connection, and the relationship between language and culture, and why is it important? Why put it there? It's very important for international leaders as they read the book and they learn those idioms, because it's just going to make it a whole lot easier when they're in a meeting and somebody says something. This is going to be a slam dunk. And if somebody, international leader, it doesn't speak English, like slam dunk, what does that mean? What's got basketball to do with business? And so that's going to help them build rapport and be able to connect with the American partners. And so there's a lot of words there that is really important just to learn, and it'll help a lot with working together and partnering.
Well, that's really interesting. And we're now joined from Ukraine. I think you're in Ukraine. You look like you're in Ukraine. Chris Excellent.
Hi, Chris.
Okay, Chris, you're on mute. Uh, uh, Ali Shami is in Puerto Vallarta in the marina and on holiday, and he's taking his precious time to talk about his book. Here, you can see it here, Partnering Successfully with American Firms. Yeah. So, Chris, I think you know Ali is CEO of Home Essentials, a global furniture rental uh, and,
Yeah,
and things company, and he's decided to base himself in war-torn Ukraine. Chris, you're amazing. Welcome. Oh, you're on mute.
hi, Chris. I think you're on mute. I just wanted to say it's great seeing you. We met several times in several shows, and it's just Chris brings a really interesting, very great insight on working with other cultures and how you connect with other cultures and doing business. So that's great. It's great to have Chris with us.
Yeah, great. So are you going to turn on your voice, Chris? Oh, it's trying to work now. Okay. Oh, all right. So anyway, Ollie, the concept here of cross-cultural gaps and bridges.
Mhm.
This is on page 67. All right, it's right here, page 60. Oh, you can't see it right here. Okay. And it's inside the book, partnering. There we go, partnering. Yeah, so you know what? It's a little difficult to hold up this book and show it in the camera because of the lighting. It's blocking it out. But on page 25, one of your subheadlines is agility and adaptation.
Yes, yes.
So what does agility have to do with that?
One thing is when a lot of partner international leaders, when they're doing business with Americans, they assume that the U.S. is all homogeneous society, that and it's very rigid. Like you have, and it's true, it's very like monochronic, where when you go to a meeting, you have an agenda, you have item 1, 2, 3, everything is like flow charts. And so they feel that things are going to be so structured, contract and everything. Well, that's not the case. United States, a lot of people, they said it's a melting pot, which now it's becoming, no, it's not. To me, in my opinion, it's more like salad. It's more like a buffet. It's just you go in the United States in several areas, several countries, states. You can learn so much about different cultures. There's so much influences. You go in California, you have the Hispanic. You have in New York, you have the Italians. I mean, there's so many different influences from so many different cultures. And in corporate, it's not any different. So it's not unusual to have a CEO who was born in Africa or born in Asia and grew up most of his or her life in the United States. So agility is really creating that, having that flexibility where you can change course. So yes, absolutely, everything needs to be structured. We do business. We have to have an agenda. We have to have agenda items. You can't just say, "Hey, let's just meet together and just think. We'll talk about what we want to talk when we meet," which is not, that's unusual. But we have that flexibility and adaptability, to adapt in situations like being punctual. A lot of other cultures, like 3 out of 4 people in the world, based on a research about 25 years ago, they're late to meetings. And it's not because they wake up in the morning and say, "Hey, let me see how I can tick off my American partners and be late." It's just that's part of the culture, especially if you're doing business overseas. But being punctual is very important, very important. So even though you don't expect to start the meeting right away with talking about business, it's very important to be ready for it and adapt to the situation and be able to start talking about business right away without having those small talks about family, about the trip and all of that. We have the small talks, but we don't dwell on it for like about 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes talking about things, unless it's right before dinner or like at lunch or something like that. So yeah, agility and adaptation to the, so it's just part of the business.
So let me ask you a question on an international basis. And Chris, I welcome you to jump in and comment if possible for you. Uh, that's the first time you've been on mute with me. I'm not used to this. I can't hear, and I cannot read lips. So, so talk about doing business with Americans. Wow. So there, I'm using my hands like I'm an Italian or something, right? So yeah, so that's my Sicilian mixture, I guess, coming through. What? You didn't know I was Sicilian? So Ali, um, what is the future? Is it going to be people who are qualified to be working in America, but they're choosing to stay away now because of the political craziness that's going on right now?
Oh goodness, I don't know how many um, wealthy gurus they say when the best way to do business is when things are not stable, or whenever there's. So you're asking me how the future is going to be in a year. It's going to be like it is this year. It's just gonna. It's not going to change because it's gonna keep on changing because change is constant. So things going to be It's going to continue to be very similar. Now you got, like, for example, the AI. You have a lot of technological changes, a lot of new ways of doing business. But in general, if you look at it, 20 years ago, there was also those challenges or those opportunities. So I think I think there's always opportunities wherever there are situations where it's tough. You'll be like, I'm not really sure I should get in the business right now because the environment is not conducive to being productive. This reminds me of in one of the meetings, we have one of the directors in sales, and we were talking, and one of the sales directors stood up and said, why are we going to sell products to customers that they are broke? They don't have money. They don't have, everybody's suffering. So why try to sell products? And the leader there, Rob, he said, actually, the best time to sell products to customers is when they don't have money, because this is the time where you listen to them, you show them that they're important. You're not there because of the money. It doesn't matter how much money they have in their briefcase. It's because you're interested in them. And when you do that, they'll remember that. So when it's time when the economy starts getting better and all the customers start having so much money to spend, they're going to remember you because you stood with them at the worst time. And now you will see all the other competitors try to jump in and treat them nice. They're not gonna give them a minute out of their time. They're gonna remember what you said to them. So how is the future is going to be? I think at the worst time, this is where you're gonna have that mindset of abundance, of things gonna be better, and it'll give you a little bit time, a precious time to build trust and good relationships with customers.
What's the best way to approach the situation from a collaborative view? In other words, collaboration versus, this is my turf, I'm going to take charge, I'm going to work alone, and then I'll share my results with you. But that's the opposite of collaboration, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, a lot of people, they think like you cannot be transactional. You have to be transformational. You have to look at. I mean, let's just admit that transactional business is important. I get benefit from when I'm partnering with you. You get benefit. We admit that people don't do business with each other if there's no mutual benefit. That's absolutely right. But with transformational activities, actions, where you get to the heart of the individual or the company that you're working with, it'll show that, because collaboration is important, because not everybody is in their best condition. There's ups and downs in companies. So when you're struggling and I jump in and I collaborate with you and I'll be like, okay, here's how I can help you. Guess what? The same thing's going to happen to me. And so that's how trust is built, and have that collaboration and give in a little bit. It's okay. It's okay to be generous. I go back to the abundance. It's so important. You cannot just go and there's a Chinese proverb that says, if you spend all your time counting the sesame seeds that get dropped from your wagon, or just spend all the time with the sesame seeds, you're gonna miss all the watermelons and all the great fruit that is out there. So for little things, sometimes a big difference. So what if you spend 0.001 of the budget on something that is, for some people will be like, well, why are you doing that? Well, it makes a big difference. It's the little things that make a big difference. So collaboration is that's the nature, that the challenge, everybody goes through challenges, and collaborating together is understanding and have that empathy, and jump at a time when they need you the most. So that's how I see with collaboration. We're all after the same goal, and not necessarily the goal of the project. A lot of people, they think, you work on a project and that's it. You'll maximize the benefit and you walk away. Excellent project managers are not just necessarily those, in my perspective, are not just those who produce a product on time, right quality, and within budget. I think excellent project managers is when you do a project with a customer or with a partner, and then at the end, you'll see them really anxious. They really want to come back and do more projects with you. That's a better indicator. So what if one time you lose a little bit of money when you gain that link, that relationship and that trust, and they're willing to work with you for decades, and they turn into satisfied customers, into loyal customers. So that's how I see it. I can talk with you for hours. The family there, they already started their breakfast. I don't know if you see that in the restaurant. So
No,
they're
I don't, but I'm going to let you go now. And I really appreciate you very much. I'm going to send you an email and let's have a dialogue if you have time.
awesome, awesome. Chris, too bad I didn't hear your voice this time. I was really looking forward also to learning from you. Ed, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure being on your show as usual. As well, you're for decades. You have connected so many leaders around the globe from all over the world. You just don't know how much you have made an impact on the industry and all the leaders. So thank you so
Thank you. Thank
much. All right.
you. And welcome. I want you to know that you're welcome to join me and others in the Global Press Club and and get more involved. And we'll talk later.
We'd love to. We'd love to do that. Yalla, take care.
Thank you. All right, this
Cheers.
is Ed in San Diego, and that's Ali Shami in beautiful Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Thank you for being on Global TV.